So I had this dream, or a vision. God showed me, I was at the beach, walking, fell into a pit of mud or quicksand. All I had on was a bathing suit. And I was stuck in this mud, and I couldn't get out. And the more I tried, the more it sucked me back in. And I could feel this heat by my feet. So it wasn't cold, it was warm, but I couldn't get out. And I tried, and I was stuck. And I didn't know how to get out. Then, after much frustration and despair and loss of hope, kind of like, what the hell am I going to do? I heard a voice call my name. I said, do you want to get out of this muck and filth and mud and sand? I said, yes. And I couldn't see because I had mud in my eyes. And a hand reached down and said, do you trust me? And I said, yes. And yanked me out of the mud, pulled me up on dry land. And I was standing there, of course, it was cold. And as he pulled me out, my bathing suit fell off. Got stuck in the mud. So I'm standing there, freezing. My eyes are closed because I can't see because of all the mud. And I feel this warm liquid being poured from over my head, down all over my body, washing off all this mud and silt and filth. And then I'm cold, and then I heard the voice say, do you trust me? And I'm like, yeah. So then I felt water. I felt cold water flowing over my head and washing off all the dirt and the muck and whatever the warm fluid was before that, and I did not know what it was. I was clean, and then the voice said, open your eyes. So I opened my eyes, and there was Jesus. And I'm shivering, and I'm cold. And so then he put a white robe around me, and he said, do you trust me? And I said, yes. He said, do you love me? And I said, yes, and thank you so much for pulling me out of that muck and that filth and dirt. I couldn't get out. I go, what did you do? He goes, well, I called you, and I pulled you out. And the first liquid you felt, that was my blood covering you, washing away all the filth and sin, because I died for you on the cross. I go, what was the other stuff? And he said, that was water, and I washed you in the water to cleanse you. And then I put a robe on you so you wouldn't be shivering and cold anymore. So I said, well, how can I ever repay you? And he says, the price has already been paid. But as my blood has cleansed you, and water has washed you clean, the water is the Word. And it all made sense. And I said, in the bright light I saw when I opened my eyes, he goes, that was me. How can I ever thank you? He says, turn around. So I turn around and I look, and there's this huge lake of mud, and all these millions of people stuck in the mud, trying to get out. And I see these lights, just little, almost look like light bulbs, but not. I mean, there were people, and they were dressed in white, and they were reaching down, and they were pulling people out of the muck and the mud. And Jesus says, who shall I send? And I remember Isaiah. He says, here I am, Lord, I'll go. He goes, well, pull the rest of these people out of the mud and help as many as you can. Because that heat you felt under your feet, that was hell. And the muck and the filth, that's the world. And we need to pull out as many people as possible. And I said, well, how long do I have to do this, Lord? And he says, until your time is up, or until I come. I go, well, what happens then? He goes, then you'll be with me forever. in paradise, in heaven. Now I understand.